Hello, people of TikTok. If you're tuning in, drop your name and hello, good morning. I had so much fun coming on here and just doing a tea haul, super random yesterday, that I figured I'd make it part of a morning routine to just come on here and talk to you guys, whatever's top of mind. And this morning I saw a post on Instagram by Georgina, last name Cap something. She's a voice alchemist, and she does beautiful work with activating your authentic voice. And in her post, she was sharing an experience that we have in common, sitting with ayahuasca plant medicine and it revealing to us these repressed memories from childhood of sexual abuse, sexual assault. And I was just contemplating like how many people have had a similar experience of feeling like there's something that they can't see, that it's like hiding in the recesses of their psyche, and then going into one of these experiences that just cracks you open and initiates you into a whole new level and frequency of truth. The place that I went to was in Costa Rica, and the owner of the it was at a retreat center, and you know, if I had to choose again, knowing what I know now, I probably would choose differently, but it was positioned as a life advancement center, and so there's a whole program around the ceremonies. And he had a similar experience of feeling like there was these patterns, this energetic signature in his life that no matter how much therapy he did, no matter how many programs, how many coaches, how many tools he accrued, there was something that he couldn't quite tap into. And when he sat with plant medicine, that's when it revealed to him that he'd also experienced childhood sexual abuse at the hands of his grandfather, which is such a common experience. It's so common, and it has been so taboo. And I've made a post recently sharing about how I'm feeling relieved from the release of the Epstein files, because it is creating a culture in the collective where we're able to speak about these things openly, right? There's this ripple of holding more truth without looking away that is weaving itself into the fabric of the collective field of belief. And someone saying, give me a green card. I'm in Mexico, so no can do, not an American citizen. Coming back to recognizing energetic signatures. So a lot of us who have had these experiences of memories repressed and then resurfacing and going through that whole initiation, we develop this almost superhuman level of discernment, of energetic awareness. And that's what I want to bring forward in the live today, is recognizing in your own way when that resonance of experience exists. And you know, there's a few different angles I want to bring forward with this. It's like recognizing when people have a similar, like, quote unquote trauma pattern or life path that initiates us into our soul gifts, you know, two sides of the same coin. And then also like the ones that tend to be toxically complementary, or, you know, trauma bonds, or that's going to perpetuate the feeling of unsafety in our body. And you know, this is like the narcissistic empath dynamic that can play out. And I believe that there is a soul contract there at play. And when we get to recognize those energetic signatures sooner, then we get to complete the soul contract sooner and move out of this looping in karmic patterns that are there for us to come into our full sovereignty, to come into our soul mission and our expression of our creative sovereignty, and hop on the Dharmic highway, which is when we're rooted in our purpose, where we're not on all these side quests in these dynamics. Sí hablo español también, pero en inglés es mejor porque puedo explicar qué haces en mi negocio mejor. Somebody asked me if I speak Spanish, so I just wanted to, I guess, show that I'm not an ignorant Canadian living in Mexico. It's interesting how many Spanish people, I wonder if this is like locally broadcasted. Teach me English. ¿Qué quieres aprender? Okay, coming back to what I was saying. It's an interesting thing to attempt to articulate and to teach, because for me, it really is this like felt sense intelligence, this somatic awareness. And so it isn't in the form of language. It's more of sensation, the language of the body. And in that, in an instant, without coming into conscious awareness, this is happening at a subconscious level, I can recognize an energetic pattern. And I remember a few instances that I'll ground this into examples for you. Everyone's Spanish in the chat. Hola. Pero es porque mi cuenta? No, account. No sé cómo le dice. ¿Cómo se dice account en español? Dime en los comentarios. Is based in Mexico. I don't know if I can change that, because I'm based, oh, it is cuenta, okay, gracias. I don't know if I can change that, because I am going to continue speaking in English, and I do want to reach people on a global scale. No entiendo nada. Lo siento. Yo digo que no puedes explicar qué quieres en español de las cosas en mi negocio y mi historia, porque no sabes, pero es posible que es un señal del universo que necesito aprender más en español. I'm from Canada. Okay, so the stories. When I used to provide services as a Reiki master, as a like energy worker, I went to this one event that was in Vancouver, Canada, where I lived for a couple of years. I am Canadian, hi. And I think it was like a speed healing event. Hello everyone in the comments. I'm from Canada. It was a speed healing event. So I think I saw like 27 different people in like a 5-hour span. And I was doing hands-on energy work with them. And so each session was like 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, like, very easy for me to like drop in, speak to what I felt, what I saw, what information was coming through, create a somatic energetic shift for the person and then be like, okay, bye. That is not how I like to operate. I'm like not here for quickies. I'm here for long-term relationships with long-term people who have a aligned vision. But at that point, I was still like figuring out like who I am, how to provide my services. But essentially, like, there was quite a few women and men who got onto my table, and I just started like speaking to what I saw and felt, and they're like, whoa, like how do you know what this is about me, like how? And I'm like, oh well, like to me it's just obvious. I'm just like reading the energetic signature. And then this loops back into the story that I started this live with, if you're just getting here, about a woman who's actually Spanish in Barcelona. Or is it Barcelona? No, it's Portugal. No, I don't know. I know she's Spanish. Who shared about her experience in childhood with sexual abuse. And I didn't have to know that story from her to know that we experienced this similar trauma, right? I could feel it right away. And there were people that were reflecting to me like, oh, like, I feel like you guys have like a similar vibe. And I'm like, yeah, we have a similar energetic signature. And even when I met this woman in person at a business conference we were both attending, I went up to her and I didn't really have any words to say. There wasn't anything like coming through my heart or my mind. And hola, visitas San Quentin, Baja California, Mexico. Me encanta Baja. I actually nannied there for like a month a few years ago when I was nannying for this family. And so when I encountered cross paths with her in person, I just kind of stood there and looked into her eyes, and we like had a few breaths, and I was like, I don't have anything to say, but I just want to like be in this moment with you. And she just totally was like, I'm here for it. And this has always been my experience with people. Sometimes I'll like go up to people and make a sound or a gesture, and they're like, I don't know how to engage with that. But if you know, you know. And so we just were like sharing this unspoken conversation beyond language, and feeling into that coherence and mutual understanding through our soul resonance. And this is how I operate in my world. I move with the language of frequency, of sensation, and I invite the people that I work with to root into that for themselves as well, through the methodology that I've developed called Embodied Evolution. And the work that we do in my programs is to recognize those energetic signatures and to root into our original templating, right? We inherit so much conditioning from our families, from society and culture, the education system, corporate America. And it is my greatest calling to walk with people through these rites of passage, through initiations, to rebirth their realities by unlearning hierarchical leadership structures, by unlearning these unconscious power dynamics, by uncoaching for a lot of the people that are in my world are in the mentorship coaching space. And there's so much conditioning even in there. It's so interesting how we'll like pivot from being in corporate culture to starting our own businesses, but then just bring along these same like unconscious architecture that lends to operating in paradigms of scarcity, urgency, and hierarchy. And this is your freedom era. If you are a business owner, you get to design your entire life in the way that resonates for you. And so with the awareness of recognizing energetic signatures, of reading and being attuned to the discernment of the language of sensation in the body, then we get to build what I like to call New Earth business architecture. And that is built on a foundation of genuine relationships and soul resonance to uncondition, unlearn, uncoach the scarcity, urgency tactics used in marketing and sales, to build in a way that is more resembling a village model than an empire, because what we learn from ancient history and civilizations is that all great empires that rise also fall, that villages get to stay strong together because power circulates in reciprocity and resources are shared. This is how I like to build my business. So if any of what I said resonates with you, reach out, send me a DM, let's connect. I want to hear your vision for an ancient future and your 100x New Earth mission. Okay, I'm gonna hop off for now. Thank you for all those who joined. Gracias por estar aquí. Y te amo. I love you.